So welcome in, you guys. Hello, happy Sunday. It is Sunday morning coffee talk, and we have a very special show today. Today is starting a new series on this channel. From here on out, we are going to be doing a Sunday morning coffee talk, which is where I'm going to be getting a cup of coffee. You guys come join me in my living room, and we're going to get this party started with a guest. It doesn't matter if they're an Elvis fan, an ETA, or even just a good friend of mine coming in here, spilling their Elvis stories. I love it. That's what we're here for. There she is. Look at the queen in the house with her coffee, Elvis coffee mug. Look at that. Look at that. This is going to be a little bit of a relaxed Sunday chat where we're just going to have a cup of coffee sitting in here and chatting with Cece. She's going to tell you a little bit about what she does, where she's from, how she gets started in the Elvis community. I'm just going to let her take it away. I'm not going to do a formal thing. It's just going to be, she's been cracking up. The whole time we did our interview, you guys, she was just laughing and having a ball. I'm goofy, you guys. I'm goofy, but I love Elvis and I have a passion. And she's the one who inspired me to get this passion going, to get out there and be like, there's more to Elvis than just his music. There's the cars, everything. So take it away, girl.
Well, thank you. I'm Cece Glamour. As mentioned, I am a 50s based pinup girl. Live in Georgia. I'm from North Carolina. Huge Elvis fan, as you guys see with the mug. This is what, Elvis mug number 3? Yeah, Elvis mug number 3. I've got like 3 of these. One of them I won at bingo for Elvis Week. And good God, if you ever play bingo at Elvis Week, please try to at least win once. Because if you start winning 10 times, those older women will have a grudge on you for the entire rest of the week. They will see you in public and be like, you won that cup.
Bingo is really fun.
It really was. But I was talking about the cups. But I also have a podcast as well that I do. I do film. I'm also a Elvis tribute artist, which is probably the most newest topic that has been surprising to everybody.
Yes. And that's one of the main reasons that I decided to bring her on here and talk to her, because we didn't get a chance to do this on her live, or her show. She wants to be, and I'm going to let her explain what this is going to be, but she wants to be an ETA with the men. I mean, the men up there, these guys. We got Dean with being the top. We got Jay DePrimus, these top men, and we can even go with Sean. We got Sean up there too. These are the top guys. But the underdogs, Amelia, we got who's another one? Alex, who's another young one that's coming up? I mean,
Moses, Lewis, Riley, it's a long list.
and see, this is where she needs to get into this. I want her to elaborate. So just tell them how you want to get into that. I want to know too, for my sake, because I mean, how do you want to get into being that competition with the man himself, kind of? You know what I mean? You're going up against big shoes, and you can walk a mile in somebody's shoes, but I don't know how far that would take you.
Well, honestly, it's really, to me, I enjoy honestly doing a lot of the tribute work, even though I've done a couple of shows. But really, when you get past filling the big shoes of the ETAs, which is all of us are really filling big shoes, the only difference is mine aren't they're not size 10s, they're size 7 heels. But
She's got a point, you guys. She's got a point. I love that.
but it's still some big shoes and definitely big jumpsuits to follow. But what I love about it is there's so much, in a way, when you're a woman being an ETA, there's so much more leeway that you can do because you can do the actual Elvis outfits, or you can also do dresses, or you can kind of add more, as Scotty used to say about Elvis, more of a burlesque attempt to it, as Scotty used to say.
Yes.
So it's very fun because of the fact that now, as a couple of our friends at Graceland have said, they're like, you going up there gives the men something to look at.
Well, it depends on what you wear, girl. Now,
It really does.
keeping a PG here, but in general, it's what you wear. He loved Kathy Westmore. He loved the Supremes. He loved the women who were behind him. So, I mean, if it's not you being in the front person as Dean, you're still running up there with the big dogs, girl. And that's what I wanted to bring her on this show. This is why I want to start this series, because this gives us inspiration. Because as a woman, I'm not really qualified to maybe fit the men's criteria, but realistically, us women can wear the shoes, maybe not the same outfits, maybe not the same style, but she did the 50s fluffy shirt with the similar style. It doesn't have to always be the collars. It can be poofy in other ways. You get what I'm saying? I mean, we are always categorized to be in one category, and I don't believe that that's true when it comes to Elvis. Elvis didn't want it to just be this way, our country, rock and roll, our gospel. He wanted it to be everywhere, and I love how inclusive this is going to be. She's going to include the women in there, girl. You're going to represent us, right, girl?
Exactly. I just did a St. Patrick's Day car show yesterday in my Goat LeMay outfit.
Really? Did you what was the car? Was it just a regular car show, or was it
It
all
was
decked
all
out in St.
classics.
Patrick's? What?
It was all classics. But
Ooh.
I know a lot of fans know, but I'm not sure if anyone here knows that the fun fact about it is the fact that like that car itself was, I believe, what, white, and then he crushed a grape on it and was like, "This is the color I want," and that's how we got purple.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know that. Elvis wasn't just one that had I'm just gonna have like a very few select little here and there kind of minute cars. This man went out. Tell about your favorite car because I love this about her because she goes all in. I love the ambition she has, like the V8
So
engine, girl.
so my favorite car, if we're talking classics, is actually the 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood Class 60. And I
Yes.
always tell people the reason why is the Class 50 had a brake recall, and if anyone's ever seen the newspaper clipping of Elvis in New York when he hits the pothole, that is why there's a Class 60.
Oh, see, I
And
didn't
which
even know that.
because it's real, and it's so funny for me. It's very funny, but it's also sad because you can see in the picture he's really upset that he just set his whole car on fire from hitting a pothole. So they had to kind of redo the brakes and stuff. So the current Cadillac you see in Graceland is the second one he bought, which is the 60.
Oh, I didn't know that one. So what the purple one, is that the one that's in that picture, right? The purple one went out.
That's the pink Cadillac, iconic pink Cadillac. That was the first one. So he had to get another one
Oh,
because
yeah,
it caught
that's
on
right. It
fire.
was, yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
Even have like parts that aren't just his cars. So like the lawnmower is out there. His boat that has a pinup girl on it, the Gladys, is out there.
I have never seen those. Talking about Graceland, I've never seen the big jumpsuit wall. Now I was so close that I'm going to use the microphone for an example. Like from here to here away from jumpsuits back in the day when they were in the racquetball room, but that's as close as I've ever seen it. See, everybody's like, I got to go see the wall. I got to go see the wall. But I
And you're
mean,
like, what wall?
yeah, I'm like, what wall are you talking about? The outside, like that's the only thing I ever thought of. But man, I would love to see the big blocks of the suits because I don't know if it's like overwhelming, but I got goosebumps every time I went into the racquetball room, as I said before.
It's a wall of jumpsuits. You have some of his shoes up there, the belts, everything. You can't miss it because as soon as the lights hit it and you get to it, everything is just sparkling. So,
Wow.
like, the sundial suit is on one side. You have some of the eagle suits on this side. They've changed some of the suits, so the I don't know which suits are in it now. I think the chicken bone suits in there, which
Ooh, that's like the gypsy suit, right? Is
yeah,
that what?
that
Yes, I love that. That's so
with
gaudy, you guys. I love how
with the
gaudy all this.
choker on it.
Oh, it does actually have the choker still. Oh, I gotta make it down there.
I love the fans because if you think that you've ever thought an unhinged thought about Elvis, there is a lady who is 75 who has one better. So it's 8:30 a.m. and they're doing this was the last day of Elvis week. And so Angie and Tom are talking about, how they archive everything. And they're doing a Q&A session. And now, mind you, it is about like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And we're like, all of us are halfway tired. The night before was Elvis in Vegas. And this lady raises her hand and she's like, so when you say that you found everything in Elvis's nightstand, did you find like everything? And Tom goes, if it would be in your husband's side of the nightstand on his bed, it's probably in his. And Angie was like, Angie's face, and I'm in the front row, so Angie's face is just like, yes, it's cataloged. And she was like, and the lady goes, "Do we know the size that is?" And I'm sitting here, and like, now, mind you, I'm in the front trying not to fall asleep because we've all had an energetic
Yeah.
the whole entire thing. And I'm sitting here, but that woke us all up. And we're all looking at her like,
Well,
the first question at 8:30 a.m. is this. This.
she loves when she talks to the fans. She's very down to earth. Angie is so cool.
Oh,
I want to meet her so bad. I didn't get a
she's
chance to
so
meet her.
sweet.
She really
Oh,
is. She's like
she
She
is so
seems really
sweet,
sweet.
but also hilarious. But it is so funny when people like they'll ask her like, "Have you ever archived anything dirty?" And then she talks about the silver box.
I think she's got some secrets up her sleeve. She could probably be telling. She
Oh
needs to
yeah.
tell just a little
Well,
bit more. We need to know a little bit more.
she does like to tell people. She's like, well, one thing I've learned in archives is never look at tapes that don't have labels.
Oh my goodness. I could only imagine. I could only imagine. Now that's something we don't usually hear because I could only imagine Elvis keeping shit on everything. Everything is kept. Absolutely.
And I'm sitting here like the GIF. I'm like, I would like to see it. What's on the tapes? And she's like, are you? It's one of those. Listen here, as somebody who works in reenactments and does a lot with history, give me the historic evidence.
Yes. Yes. We need that. Absolutely. We do have a special guest, Cece Glamour. She is an amazing 50s chick who loves Elvis just as much as we do here on this channel, and we're going to start doing these in two segments. So if you want to be the next spot on her as like in her seat right over there, if you want to sit in her seat, I guarantee you we are looking for people, and this is going to be our new segment. And she's starting us off. I love the 50 caddies, but the older ones, can we just talk about that? The older 1970s. Can we talk about the white one? I don't know what it is. What is it?
I have posed with those, like the Lincoln Continentals.
The Lincoln, yes. Those are now, okay. Being an Elvis fan all my life, I can see the decades that Elvis grew up in, and the 50s definitely pink and bright colors. The 60s, black. I see it all the way. Like nothing but black this, black that, black suits, I mean everything. But then when you get in the 70s, this is my favorite year. And we didn't get a chance to talk about this on her show, but on mine, we're going to bring it to life because my era is 1970s to 1974 and 75. Those were the great years, and the Lincoln Continental definitely made him look like a dad, but a very hot, sexy dad who could drive one of those things. Do you remember him getting out of the car, girl? Oh my God, and that's the way it is.
But I will say it took me a while to grow into 70s Elvis. It took me a little bit, and like that's the way it is actually helped. But it took me. I was like, it was one of those. I don't know about this. I don't know. And I'm sitting here like, I like 50s, 60s. I don't know about 70s. I don't. And then I watched this and I was like, you know what? This is nice. It's like, I'm here.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's the way it is a great show.
Like every now and then we'll get maybe 2 or 3 of like 30s to 50s Rolls Royces, which looks, I've been in one that looks like the one that's actually at Graceland, which a lot of people, actually no, because I think it says it on the plaque that like one of them was gifted to him by Michael Landon. And yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the white one, if I'm not mistaken, was gifted to him by Michael Landon.
I didn't know that.
And it was Michael Landon first. He was like, hey, Elvis, like, how much you want for it? He's like, here you go.
What?
This information is going to be really cool for you, by the way. So they had, I think, what was it? They also have in the pavilion called the Graceland Tent. So I went in there and sung, which that video went around Graceland like hot fire. And I didn't know. But one of my friends was like, she was singing Trouble. And I'm sitting here like, everybody's talking about this girl singing Trouble. And I didn't realize they meant me. And so from there on, I actually just recently got a call too to sing yet again at the tent this year. So that was the 13th and 14th. So I'll actually be kicking off the Graceland tent those 2 days. Elvis Week, for anyone who does it, the whole week can be intimidating, but I'm also a huge nerd. So I do Comic Cons and Anime Cons. If you can get through that, you can get through, it's really Anime Con, just Elvis. So
it is. It's like Vegas, you guys. I only was there for 2 days and I felt like I stayed the night in Vegas for like the weekend, okay?
You have the Elvis, what is it? The Elvis, Ultimate Elvis Tribute Concert, which is, of course, the contest, which is huge. And you also have, of course, that was like, what is that like night number 2 or 3? Because I think I came in that same day. So I did get to see Dean's show where he actually had the, Dean's The Unplugged, which is super
That's
cool.
what I saw. That's the only show that I got a chance to see. You must have been there, and I didn't even see you. Really?
I was there. I had just gotten in. I had just gotten in to Memphis and had to go straight there because my friend had my ticket. And they had that going on. Because I think that same night was like the Ultimate Elvis contest. Yes. And then the next night was like some more shows and different events and the Graceland tent. And then the next night after that was the dance party, in which I got to meet some really cool people and different ETAs out there. And it was funny. I danced the entire night. What was it? The next thing after that was the Candlelight Vigil, which was really fun and also really sad and somber, but also funny.
I saw people actually really sad. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, that was me. I bawled like a baby, which is how I met the beautiful family of Richard Davis. And oh my God, sweetest family,
really?
I love it.
That'd be cool.
And it was funny seeing some of the people who also knew him best, and they're like watching me cry, and they're looking at me, and they're like, man, you're crying like you're married to the man. Went up the hill around, I think, like 11, because I've learned from a lot of my good friends that like you wait out going up. But I say that it was emotional also because you had people that were fainting because it was really hot, which is weird because I had on a whole 50s styled varsity jacket with my pinup logo on the back, and that can get hot. But I was pretty okay with that.
Sorry, y'all. We got a little special guest coming in here to say hi to everybody.
My dog usually does that. She'll think it's about me. It's my time.
She just had to come. But anyway, sorry, girl, because I see people like, what the hell? A cat just pops up. Yeah, I mean, this is what happened. But
this is
anyway, yeah, tell us because people need to know about what happens at Elvis Week because the visual people don't realize that the visual is
was
actually still
amazing.
emotional to this day. People think that oh, it's not as emotional. I was there for 2 days and the visual wasn't like 3 days away, and people were bawling their eyes out. Still, you guys,
Yeah.
still.
it's it's definitely emotional, but it's also so very sweet to be up there. And it's also this is where the funny part comes up because we could not get my candlelight all the way up. Like, okay, they have little stations to get your candle lit as you're going up, and it just would not light for anything. So we get to the candle that is lit by Elvis's eternal flame, and it finally lights. And so I go up there, I give one of my bracelets that I have, and I put it on. I actually put it on his headstone, which I think is still there. I think.
Oh, how cool is that?
And I was like, this is great. Like the candles lit, like this is great. And then as soon as I walk around, I pay my respects to everybody. And as soon as I walk away, it is like somebody, and I knew who did it, blew out the candle. And I look up, and his bedroom light is on. And I just sit there and I go, Elvis, do you know how long it took for us to light this candle? And you
What?
blew it out.
Oh my
I
goodness. So I see I've never been. So this is so interesting to me. They use which flame? Where is it? Is it down by where the waterfall is?
It's actually so it's the flame that's actually on his gravestone.
I would love to be that close because yeah, Lisa just passing, I bet both of them down there now are even better than it is. And I would love to have an eternal flame for her as well. And I would love to do that too. Oh my God.
It's really fun to come down that driveway and to really, it is emotional because it's like wow, but it's also emotional way because when you look back out and you see these sea of people, it's crazy. It's really huge.
I want to tell about how when I was at Graceland when I in like early 2005, 6, maybe 7 or 8. I know it's like all those years, but one of those years we went on the night tour. Have you ever been on a night tour? Oh no, you haven't.
Oh, I would love to.
There's a night tour. Now, I don't know if they still have this, but let me tell you guys, the night tour is a whole nother beast. Like, I was probably in my early 18. Thank you. I was early 18. And I was like, me and my best friend for my birthday. All I wanted to do was go to Graceland. All I wanted to do was go to Graceland for my birthday and be like, yep, this is all I want to do. Anyway, me and my best friend took a night tour. And this night tour, I tell you, the jungle room lights did not work. And I've never seen that in my entire life. I've been probably 20 times, never had an issue with the lights going out in the thing, but I touched the wall and swear to God, I was like, oh my God, did I just knock out those lights? I touched the carpet. And I know that doesn't set anything off because you can touch the carpet, but I touched the carpet and the kitchen lights went, whew. I was
Yep,
like,
yep, yep.
I'm done. I'm leaving. So I ran out of the house like a scared little, like one of them running through a corn maze. I'm like, I'm getting out. Like I was even terrified. But we didn't talk about music, and I want to talk about this one thing about bringing new guests on here who are actually talented. I wanted her to tell you, you play guitar. What else do you play? Like, tell us about your musical background because I want to know, and I want you guys to know that it's easy to actually do what she's doing. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to pick up a guitar and just play if you guys want to play. If you have a dream, you can do it.
Sure.
Just put your mind to it. But tell us about your musical career, girl. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. Tell us about it.
So I am playing guitar. So the funny thing about that is I also, yet again, like Elvis, cannot read music.
See,
And
there's an easy. I can't read music. I don't know how to read music. I am a
I'm
drummer,
like,
and drummers don't
exactly.
need music. We just
Gene, for example, Gene Chrisman, and he'll tell you all day long, like he was like, "You're supposed to read music." So it's very funny. So I play by ear. So a lot of it I'll play. So I definitely play by ear when it comes to guitar, but I also sing. So I play a little bit of piano, but that's also by ear.
ooh.
So very funny. I have two Elvis instruments that I can play,
Yes,
piano and guitar.
we
So
need
that's
to. We
really
need to. This
funny.
is what we're going to talk about. This is why we got to get this call started.
Alright, so I have two guitars. I have a Stratocaster, black and white, named Koala, and then I have the Gibson that looks very identical to the '68 comeback one, to the '68 comeback guitar, and her name is Memphis Lucille Presley. Of course, Memphis due to Memphis itself, Presley, of course, to Elvis, but Lucille because of BB King, who I love to say that I'm related to, which is very funny.
How did you get three amazing icons for one guitar?
So what I did was I actually would switch between naming it Presley or Memphis, so I kept with Memphis because of course when you think of that rock and roll guitar, you think of Memphis. I mean it's literally on the Sun Records building. So you think Memphis, Lucille because of course Lucille, BB King's guitar, which is why I
Yes.
love Gibsons and so forth so much. And then of course Presley because Elvis had that same guitar for the '68 comeback special, so it was like I'm gonna name it this. And then I think what was it? I named the guitar strap Dolly because my guitar strap is all rhinestones.
See, there we go. That's what I like because she showed me that picture of it, I was like, man, this is beautiful. I could only imagine Elvis playing a rhinestone guitar. I would have
You
loved to have.
know, I
Yeah.
honestly, I really think he would because that is something I'm
Yeah.
like, he would have, if somebody made him a guitar that, like a guitar strap that had rhinestones, let alone a guitar out of rhinestones, he would have played it. He would
He
have.
would have played it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. His suits were that way. I mean, that's just a whole other thing. Tell us, in your opinion, because everybody here has seen the Elvis movie and knows. What do you think about the black music? Tell it. I mean, I'm ready for it. We got to
I
move this debate up. I mean, I'm ready.
So honestly, and this is really funny, especially with me not only being a woman ETA, but even a black woman ETA, is of course
Yes.
you do get a lot of that rah, rah, all of this rumors of Elvis. But the thing is, what people don't notice or know is a lot of the black artists that we have came and spawned from Elvis. So it's really funny where people are like, oh, like for example, I always see Jackie Wilson, Elvis stole
Yep.
from Jackie Wilson.
Nope.
You're wrong because Jackie Wilson saw Elvis and said, I want to do it. And what's funny is Jackie Wilson used to say, I guess I'm just a black Elvis. And Elvis would go, well, I'm a white Jackie Wilson.
Yep.
And the funniest thing is if you're ever watching the movie Girls, 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 and when he's doing Return to Sender, you see his eyes cut a little bit. That is because he's looking at Jackie Wilson.
Yes,
Jackie
is that
Wilson
what
was
you
on
see?
set on some of the
Really?
movies.
I didn't know that.
He was really trying to get him out there. And what I love is like the Memphis Mops and the members recall him talking about when he first saw Jackie Wilson cover Don't Be Cruel. Elvis was like, that's me, my song. That is his song. And I covered it. I covered it for him to sing it the way he did, basically. And he would like, they said he was so obsessed with Jackie Wilson that he would just go on like random tangents and be like, he should be bigger than me. Like I should be competing to like beat him on the charts. And he really wanted him to, and he had the same similar issues with his manager where he was caught up with the mob and stuff like that. And the thing was, Elvis is like, how can I make you bigger than me? Like, what can I do? Like, he was like, I want you to be so big that, like, if I were to kind of like fade, that you are the new limelight. It was funny that there were so many black artists that he felt that with. But another thing that we don't talk about, which is funny, is Ray Charles.
Ray Charles
I
is another
find
one
this
of
very
those.
funny because I recently learned Elvis was obsessed with Ray Charles the way that we all are with him. Like Sam Phillips was like he could tell you everything about Ray Charles, and he was like, and no one knew why. Like, and but then you have Ray Charles is like, I no, please don't do that. Don't ever cover one of my songs again. And the thing was, a lot of artists were always like, well, Ray Charles knew, so it's funny. Where Ray Charles is like, nope, that is a white boy singing my songs. And they're like, how do you, it just sounds like it. And meanwhile, Elvis is like, I love Ray Charles. And he's just, and Ray is like, don't do that. But as he got, I think it was like as he kind of got more into the music, Ray kind of was like, okay, well, you had it's like a lot of the black artists who did feel that way, that felt a little bit apprehensive, kind of realized if you put Elvis's name on it and he sings the song and people find your song, they're like, wow, this it helped. But there's so many great stories that in our community that we don't talk about Elvis until there's me that goes, so did you know that when Dionne Warwick really was coming out, that Elvis actually was like, hey, if you buy her album, there is a picture of me in the sleeve.
See? He knew how to market, and I love the story about him saying, "I'm not leaving the black singers at home." I mean, I mean, even using the word. I mean, I'm not trying to discriminate you guys by saying that, but he was like that. He said, "Hey, I'm going to tell it like it is. You're not leaving them at home.
Exactly.
I'm bringing them with me. You ain't leaving them. I want you because that's how he knew where talent was worth talent, and not a lot of people got into Elvis's like head with that kind of stuff, where he was always like, "You can't have well, screw that. I can
He
do
was
it."
like, if my girls can't come, I'm not coming. And I even love the stories with the sweet inspirations and just like,
Yes.
and they're like, and the fact that you can just imagine, especially even when you're watching That's the Way It Is, that Elvis would just go in there to like gossip and just be in their dressing room and be like, so guess what happened today? And they're like, what happened? Next year,
What?
like, oh, yeah, like birthday, which is really funny too. It's really funny to get to be quote unquote adopted by Mrs. Del Brown now in her family, and we're just. And so she just told me some like really funny stories of just Elvis just being just being a sweetheart where he gifted all the sweet inspirations bracelets that had their own little nicknames on them, TCB necklaces, jewelry, cars, like, but they said Elvis was like the big brother that sometimes acted like a little brother who would come in and just be like, guess what happened today? And then this person he'd be like, I'm not one to gossip. And then they said they would turn their chairs and be like, what happened? And he'd go, so what had happened was, and they were just saying that it was the fact that they were very nervous because at one point, of course, he had the blossoms, but those rumors were starting to span, and so for them, they're like, it was kind of like Elvis knows, and like it's so funny when she told the story. She's like, Elvis knows we're black, right? And they're like, yeah, he knows. He's a huge fan, and they're just like, okay, and they meet him, and I think she said what was funny, the first rehearsal they had where he actually would greet all the sweet inspirations with kisses on the mouth, and he kissed Myrna, and Myrna fell off the stool.
Yes, I remember somebody saying that story. Yes, she was infatuated, but she wasn't that infatuated until after she kissed him, she said. Something like that. And oh my goodness.
And
Mm.
they like she fell off the stool, and it's just it's very funny of how much. And I always tell people this, it's very funny like how much of Black history also revolves around Elvis,
Yes.
because in the Black community we have been saying TCB since like the 70s, but then you go back and realize that's because Elvis coined TCB, and it's very funny bringing those up, even bringing even like the Southern cooking. Like I always a lot of newer Black fans that I meet that are getting into it, I always start with if you go to Graceland. His house smells like your grandmother's Sunday dinner. Like it smells like Crisco. It smells like fried chicken. It smells like collard greens. It smells amazing. Like it smells like home.
It does. Absolutely. That entire house has a smell, and it's not so much as home cooking. It smells like somebody lived in that house. Like
It
lived in it
really
and meant
does.
to live in it. I'm not trying to say that in a philosophical way, but it came out that way because it's the truth. I love that black artist actually came into Elvis's life and actually emphasized it, whereas the white people were like, "We don't want it. We don't like this. We don't like." But yet, aren't they the same ones bitching about like BB King and Chuck Berry and all these other ones like getting all like weird and graphic, and like they all just thought, oh, Elvis is gonna be another one of them. No, I'm sorry, he's not just a Chuck Berry. He's not just a BB King. He's a little bit bigger than that, and he has the swagger of that. So why not let him have it? You know what I mean? Let him have it.
Exactly.
Why
And
not?
that's what I love too. But I also love the fact that like a lot of things that people don't know, even though they touch a glimpse on it in the movie when he comes back home. Of
Yes.
course, when he comes back. But it's so funny to also learn that when Elvis was just starting. So I even learned I forgot the name of the DJ, but apparently so WHBQ was the first radio that was the first radio station that was broadcast to a white audience to play. But it was a black
Yes. That's
radio
right.
jockey who actually played That's All Right Mama first, and it blew up like that as soon like the first day in the Black community. So like you had young Black women in the 50s trying to figure out where is this man and where does he live.
Exactly.
And it's so funny that I actually found it on Instagram and it kind of got buried under the rug. And I'm sitting here like, so you mean to tell me that I had to listen to how Dewey like that like Dewey Phillips played it first when this man played it first, and then Dewey played, and I'm like, Sun Records, this is important information
And
too.
that's another thing. Sun Records didn't get the like at first it was just a black artist and soul music. They didn't that he didn't venture out. But with Elvis, he ventured out and he actually took a
Yes.
big shot because he could have failed. But it's the way that Elvis moved, sang, and talked about music, about saying, I'm not going to sit still. I'm going to keep moving and grooving. I'm not going to stand still because just a producer wants me to stand still. You can move around and still make an impact.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's how I am when it comes to singing. I did AP chorus in high school when we had to do solos, and I had to stand there and be stationary. And you can see in the video where I'm patting my hair, doing it. I'm like I cannot just. And it's funny because I get that from my mom with her also singing professionally. So we are people like when it comes to we just can't stand there and just stand there. Like I can't. Like okay, if I'm doing maybe well, no, I can't even see even if I'm doing like one of Elvis's gospel songs, I still have to move. Like I just it just doesn't work
Yeah.
that way.
And that's exactly that's the music in Elvis. Like you can take the boy from the country as they say, but you can't take the music out of a boy who is a hard driven sound. Where else do you look at Elvis as musical inspiration coming from besides just gospel? Where else do you see it?
Exactly. Like, yeah, of course, like the big root is gospel, and it's really funny because even, especially with all of the different genres, that's really where it spans from. There's a
Yes.
lot of blues songs that got turned over from him
Blues
to
is
be
another one.
gospel songs. But even when we go back to, her name is in my brain because I talk about her sister Rosetta Thorpe. So when you even go
Yes.
to her starting off, and the fact that the church kicked her out for bringing a guitar and putting it to church music because she's like, I'm sorry, this is not connecting with the youth for them to sit
Oh
here and
no,
spice it
I
up.
didn't know
But
that.
yeah, they kicked her out the church for bringing because
What?
back then anything that was electric, so even the guitar was like seen as the devil's instrument, which was the church's way of saying we can't pay for amps.
I'm sorry, what? Like, what?
So
In
they
the
kicked her out.
world?
And she just went, okay, whatever. And so for her bringing into what is now a lot of the gospel sound, including even my great, how many greats is she? One or two? My great aunt Gletha, who a lot of like the gospel or like church organs. So some of the gospel church organs that you would hear in some of Elvis's sounds, she originated some of those riffs that you hear.
Yes.
Elvis's well, well, well. It's my great aunt.
Yep. That is
So
incredible.
so it's
That
really
is so
funny.
how are you like how many grades you're like 8 grades out of her?
That is what my
Or
second grade.
I didn't know. I thought you went three. I went you at least 4 grades. I was like, wait a minute,
I
how many?
think I always forget where. I think it's like I think
That's
she's one or
incredible.
two grades. So yes, we have so many different gospel artists. Like we have the Clark sisters, which are kind of so much like the Blossom sound, but yes, but they're in the family. And it's really,
Wow.
oh yeah. So singing and music runs very much to the family, and like I mentioned with my mom singing professionally, so it's really funny because all the stuff that I'm basically doing, she was doing at my age. Now she's like, here's the baton with rhinestones on it. Also here, and
Oh
it's
my God.
and we do
Music
so
is
much.
ran deep in your family then.
It
Seriously.
really does.
You can literally have no degree, no film degree, no freaking music degree. See, I have a film degree. Like Elvis also wanted to go into film. I mean, he was nobody and made it into somebody, and that's why this series is going to be a starting of this series where we are going to be doing Sunday coffee talks with you guys, where you guys are going to be in the hot seat, and this is going to be incredible because it is going to be a show, and we're not going to just sit here and we're going to take comments. We're going to take people. I love that we can talk about anything, but if she ever has me back, we have to have a part two on her show. So you guys go support her, go follow her. If you have not right here, go follow her because I'm going to be working with her in the future for
Oh yeah.
definitely. We already know that that's happening, girl. We already know it's happening.
Yes, because I got the what is it, the 50 sock hop coming up, and I'm actually going to be sewing something for the first time, and it is a poodle skirt.
Really? You're doing a poodle skirt? Oh
Yep,
man.
I'm actually going to be sewing a poodle skirt. So for those of you who would like to follow the process of that, that'll be on my Instagram page, Cece Glamour, because I'm excited. I'm excited to sew because I have a jumpsuit pattern that I found in an
Yes.
antique shop, and I figured this is going to be very fun. But I'm actually going to be making my poodle skirt. I also found the material to do like the cupcake dresses, which is like those really Dixie Locks prom dress,
Yes, those look.
and it is. I've always wanted one of those, and I call it a cuggly dress, which is cute and ugly because it is ugly. It is also cute, but I've wanted one since I was a kid because it agrees.
I love that. I have a picture, and I don't usually show this, but I went as a poodle skirt girl for Halloween one time, and my mother sewed an entire poodle skirt together. And this thing was so big, I swear to God, we found a little like what are those things that are like tutus or whatever?
Yeah,
Like what are those?
the crinoline skirts.
Yes. So my mom found one of those and sewed that onto a like bluish, like light baby blue. Okay. My mom went baby blue and then a like white poodle dog with a black leash. She went all out. But when I swear, I'm going to just say it. When I put that thing on, that was itchy. That was the itchiest costume I have ever had to wear. I swear to God, it is itchy. But you can see how the detail, I'm going to show you that because I was actually a poodle skirt girl one of the time. And I went to school in a poodle skirt because
That was me. Also cosplay, so I do like I have for if we have any Bridgerton fans that are in the I also do
there you
Queen Charlotte
go.
for Bridgerton balls, so I have like three 18th century gowns. I do the accent and everything, and then I have like all
Really?
I do, and then I have like all the jewelry. Like I'm actually in the process of collecting Elvis jewelry. I'll actually show you the ring.
What do you got? Oh, that is gorgeous. Is that the horseshoe
It's
ring?
the horseshoe ring. It's my favorite ring. Like I know everybody likes a lot of the, and I love all the 70s rings. It's just that me and my mom love big jewelry, so if I ever want to wear like one of Elvis's 70 rings, I just go in her jewelry box.
Or the
What I do?
TCB necklace, I
Oh, the
mean, I'm
necklace. So
sorry.
that is actually so that is actually the real deal. It's the
You
smaller.
have yes.
It's the smaller, but I like it. I had to put it on a different chain because it was really big. So this is actually, and it's not sure if you guys can see it, but it's actually like little
It's a
lightning
little
bolts on it.
lightning. Yes. I dig the light.
Really?
That was my first.
And I'm like, I love the TCB necklace. But but it was funny because the last time I went to, actually, it was Elvis Week. Was it? Yeah, it was Elvis Week actually. And I had like the earrings, which is everybody at Grayson who sees me knows me for these big earrings and my guitar shaped purse. And so it was like, so Lowell, he sees me. I always say, everyone's like, you're not pronouncing his name right. I'm like, I'm from the South, okay? Certain
Yeah,
syllables don't come out right.
that's right.
I've tried. And he sees the earrings, and he had like the really big, like the TCB necklace, like this big, like they're about the size of the my
Oh my
earrings.
goodness.
And he goes, you know, I never thought about making earrings that big. Those would go really nice with this necklace. And I said it would. And I told him, you can put like a really big T here and like the C and the B. He was just like, don't give me no ideas, because he's like, I'll start drafting and making them. I'll do it.
How
So
cool would that be though with the TCB on the
on it.
earrings?
So
Oh my God.
also, I think somebody commented favorite song of Elvis, and this changes monthly for me, like monthly. I mean, I tell you, I don't
Yes.
have like it's not even a word. I'm like, oh, it's a day, like it's monthly. Let's see. I'm thinking March just started, so right now it's early morning rain, and hilariously, it's actually currently raining
Ooh,
right now.
that is a great song. We're gonna be doing this again next week. We gotta find somebody, so we'll be finding hopefully somebody will be wanting to do it. You guys can pick on Friday. We're gonna like put three people in a hat, and I'm gonna we'll spin it and see who's gonna go next because it's up to you guys that we just pick from there. I want to ask our final question. This is gonna be our staple question of the day, which is always we're gonna end with it from here on out because we both are TCB girls. What is your TCB for the day? Taking care of your business. What is your taking care of business for the day? And that's something that I want you to think and tell us. What is something positive that is a TCB in your life right now? Tell us. What's something you got? What's your TCB in your life right now?
I think my TCB for right now is really just using every day to find some small way to inspire people. Whether it can be from doing a performance or it can just be from talking to people and just saying, "Hey, these are you can have absolutely no knowledge of what all you want to do. It's really just about getting into it." I had no knowledge of really being an ETA. My first ETA I ever saw was Dean before I was a huge Elvis fan at like 10 years old. But it's really just if you have the idea to want to do it, honestly do it because everybody else is doing something. Don't they? Everybody is a personality hire on a rock in space right now.
Absolutely. She's got a great point. You don't have to be somebody to be somebody. Elvis obviously wasn't setting out for stardom. He may have been born into stardom, but you never know, one of those things. But Elvis doesn't always have to be the main topic, but you have to at least enjoy Elvis music, know about music, and have a very camera front, or not camera shy attitude. I'm going to let her get out of here, and we're going to end on my favorite song of the night, but hold on before she does. We're going to let Elvis play out here. But thank you again, Cece, for always doing this. I cannot wait to do this series. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have some cool people. It doesn't always have to be Elvis fans. You can be somebody who knows Elvis community. It can be we can even get an ETA down the line, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I want to just get normal people, normal reactions, normal stories because Elvis wasn't always a superstar in the end. You understand that? He wasn't just a superstar, but he is a superstar. You started us off. People love the interview. I love it. And it's not an interview. It's just a show, you guys. Give her some love, you guys. Bye. So hit me up if you guys would be interested in down being a guest on our show. Thank you, Bill. Love to see you, Bill. Love to see you guys. TCB, you guys. God bless. I will see you next Sunday for Sunday Morning Coffee Talk. Thank you, guys. Thank you, CC. We love you. See you next